Hi, it's Paul from Model Builder International. What we're going to look at this time is a brand new kit from Flyhawk. It's a 1/72 scale M1A2 SEP, and they've done things a little bit differently inside this box. Let's have a close look inside. Okay, so here you can see all the sprues in the kit. There's 9 sprues with 135 parts in plastic, 9 of which are the bigger pieces, hull top, hull bottom, that sort of thing. There's also 5 clear parts on one sprue, and there's 24 photo etch parts. The level of detail on them is pretty impressive. We've become familiar with the level of detail that Flyhawk puts into its kits from the ships that we've reviewed before, and a few early tanks as well. The attachment points are all nice and small. They've used side molding. The main gun barrel is hollow. Even the machine gun has a hollow barrel as well. So there's lots of detail here, and they've done something pretty innovative in the way this kit is built as well, and we'll have a look at that now on the next page. So the first thing I'll say is I much prefer the new booklet form of the instructions. It's much easier to deal with on the table than a single sheet of big long paper, double-sided paper. But again, they followed what they've done before with colouring things in to make things stand out, making obvious which things they're talking about. So we like that it's easy to read. Basically, this one page has essentially 5 steps on it, starting at the aft of the main body with the radiators. You can see there's some nice detail on there, and then it starts fitting the wheels on. The wheels look nicely detailed. There's inner and outer wheels. Now we get on to what's really innovative about this kit is when you look at the tracks, it looks like there's 2 sets of ready-made tracks, but that's not quite the case. What we're doing here is we've fitted the inner half of the drive gear, and then we're fitting the inner half of the track. So basically, this is sort of completely different to link tracks, and also building a track out of 80 or so individual links. Basically, you put the whole of the inner half in place and then fit some wheels over the side of it. And in a step or in a couple of pages, we'll fit the outer half of the tracks. So let's go on to the next page. Okay, so on this page we start at the top with adding some pieces of photo etch to the upper half of the hull, adding some side skirts, adding a few pieces of photo etch to the top of the hull. The top of the hull has got a nice, it's got a texture to it. You can see it in the photographs. If you go to the website, I added a load of photographs to the website, real close-ups, and you'll see this textures on the turret and the hull. So now if you look at the bottom here at the tracks, this is where we put, the outer half of the tracks in place, and then finally put the outer half of the drive gear at the back, put that in place as well. And I sort of thought about this a little bit, and it is pretty neat, because if you look at tracks on the M1s, the in between the 2 track pads is actually recessed. That's where the joint's going to be, so it's pretty much out of sight. Nobody's going to see it, especially when the M1, the Abrams has those big side skirts as well. There's very little of the tracks you can actually see. And this just makes it so much easier than having to deal with 80 odd links, or having to deal with link and length, which is my kind of preferred, but it's still a bit fiddly and messy. Essentially, we can paint these tracks, do most of the painting on these tracks before you even fit them, and then they fit in one fell swoop. So it's a pretty neat idea. It'll be interesting to see if it catches on. So let's move on to the next page. So page 3, we're starting on, basically putting turret together, or the main part. Starts off with the 50 cal that's outside. Notice the 50 cal does have a hollow barrel, and there's a lot of nice detail on the copula there. And you also get clear parts to go inside it, so you'll have to work out how you're going to paint those, because they need to have a red tint put on them. Then on the right hand side, basically we're getting small parts on the top of the turret. As I said before, there's some nice texture on the top of the turret as well. And then coming down, basically putting the main gun together. And again, this also is moulded hollow. So really there's no need for a brass part here. And that's basically most of the turret put together. Page 4 is mostly putting together the stowage at the back of the turret, and the side as well actually. Well, basically assembling the parts prior to fitting them to the turret. There's some nice detail here in plastic, and also there's some photo etch parts to go in here as well. Again, it looks very nice. On page 5, basically fit the parts we made on page 4, fit those to the back and side of the turrets, add some more small parts on the turrets. It looks like there's some more photo etch, and maybe some more clear parts going in here as well on top of the turret. Basically adding a lot of detail to the top of the turret here. And the final step, step 6, is basically putting the turret on the hull and adding some photo etch pieces on the turrets, and also at the very back, even down to a very small PE, looks like a serial number or part number on the back of the turret there. So all in all, lots of parts, lots of nice details. The really interesting thing to have a go at is the tracks, to see if these go together as nicely as I think they're going to. Okay, the next page is all about painting. The colours are called out in AK Interactive, and also named as well in, I think that's Chinese and Japanese as well. Interestingly, they've supplied a photo etch piece for masking the wheels, which is pretty neat. Basically just hold that and move it over the wheels and do your spray painting, and you're good to go. There's also some painting guides here for the clear parts as well, so those look pretty good. And then going over the page, in the booklet it gives you the first of the 5 painting options. This one's Kentucky 2002, and the other options are on the bottom of the box, and those are all in desert camouflage from various times. So what it looks like, it should produce quite a nice little model. I'm anticipating a lot of people will be interested in this for the way the tracks are done, just to see how that works. So I shall be doing the same. And yeah, it looks really, really nice, interesting. Overall, it's Flyhawk's same attention to detail. Packaging is awesome. Level of detail on the sprues themselves is really good. Lots of small parts. Gun barrels are hollow, even down to the machine guns. Instructions are good, color coded. Now in the booklet, they're easier to use. So many thanks to Flyhawk for sending it along for us to have a look at, and it should be available in the stores pretty soon.